Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of Luna Station, watching Earth's first quantum-fold warship take shape in the sprawling orbital shipyards. The HSS Thunderchild's hull gleamed under the construction lights, its 3-kilometer length dwarfing the support vessels that swarmed around it like busy insects. "Beautiful, isn't she?" Dr. Marcus Rivera joined her at the viewport, his dark eyes reflecting the same pride Chen felt. As the lead scientist on Project Thunderchild, he had spent the last decade turning theoretical physics into the most advanced warship humanity had ever conceived. "Beautiful and necessary," Chen replied, her expression hardening as she remembered the classified footage from the Proxima incident. 3 months ago, an unknown alien fleet had appeared at the colony, demanding immediate surrender. The colonial defense fleet had been obliterated in minutes. Only a desperate last-minute gambit by the colony's AI had prevented total annihilation by broadcasting the colony's fusion reactors as a makeshift EMP weapon. "The quantum fold drive tests exceeded our expectations," Marcus said, pulling up holographic data with a gesture. "We've achieved stable multi-dimensional positioning across a 12-light-minute radius. The Thunderchild can effectively be in 27 places simultaneously." Chen nodded, studying the test results. "And the weapon systems. The phase-shifted plasma cannons are ready. When combined with the quantum fold drive, we can fire from multiple positions in space-time simultaneously. No known shield technology can withstand that kind of concentrated fire." A soft chime interrupted them as Captain Diana Patel, the newly appointed commander of the Thunderchild, entered the observation deck. "Admiral, Doctor," she greeted them, her posture perfect despite the obvious exhaustion in her eyes. "The final crew selections are complete. We're ready to begin advanced trials as soon as the quantum core installation is finished." Chen turned to face the younger officer. "Diana, are you absolutely certain about taking command? The Thunderchild isn't just a warship. She's a statement to the galaxy. Every spacefaring civilization will be watching us." "That's precisely why I volunteered," Paddle replied with quiet confidence. "Humanity needs to show strength, but also restraint. We're building the Thunderchild to prevent another Proxima, not to start a war." Before Chen could respond, the station's AI interrupted with urgent priority. "Admiral, we're detecting multiple fold space ruptures at the edge of the solar system. 6 vessels of unknown configuration have emerged. Their energy signatures match the Proxima attackers." The 3 officers watched as tactical displays materialized around them, showing the incoming vessels. They were massive, their biomechanical hulls rippling with strange energies that defied conventional scanning. "How long until they reach Earth?" Chen demanded. "At current velocity, approximately 48 hours, the AI responded. Marcus stepped forward, his face pale but determined. "The Thunderchild's quantum core is at 89% installation. If we push the engineering teams to their limits, we might be able to launch in 36 hours. With untested systems and an untrained crew." Patil asked, though Chen could see the determination in her eyes. They all knew there was no choice. "Diana, begin immediate crew deployment. Marcus, you have 24 hours to get that quantum core operational. I don't care what corners you have to cut. We need this ship ready." Chen's voice carried the weight of command, of decisions that would echo through history. "The Thunderchild was built to protect Earth. It looks like she'll get her chance sooner than we expected." As the others rushed to their tasks, Chen remained at the viewport, watching the massive warship that represented humanity's greatest achievement, and perhaps its last hope. In less than 2 days, they would either prove that humanity deserved its place among the stars, or it would join the long list of civilizations that had reached too far, too fast, and burned out in the cold void of space. The Thunderchild's hull hummed with power as the quantum core came online, its impossible geometries sending ripples through reality itself. Chen whispered a quiet prayer to whatever forces might be listening in the vast darkness between the stars. "Let us be ready." The bridge of the HSS Thunderchild thrummed with nervous energy as Captain Patel watched the tactical display. The alien vessels had accelerated, cutting their arrival time to 18 hours. Around her, her hastily assembled crew worked with fierce concentration, running through systems checks that should have taken weeks in mere hours. Quantum core stabilization at 93%. Lieutenant Emma Santos reported from the engineering station. Her fingers danced across the holographic controls, making minute adjustments to the revolutionary drive system. Dr. Rivera says we can safely initiate a fold at 95. Time to that threshold? Patil asked, keeping her voice steady despite the pressure building in her chest. 3 hours, assuming the containment fields hold. The main view screen shifted as Admiral Chen's face appeared from Luna Command. Diana, we've received a transmission from the approaching fleet. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, claiming to represent something called the Hillarch Dominion. The bridge fell silent as the transmission played. A harsh, multilayered voice filled the command deck. Humans of soul, your species has been deemed unworthy of continuation. Your genetic template is flawed. Your technological progression aberrant. Submit to immediate extinction or face obliteration. You have one planetary rotation to comply. Patil's hands clenched on her command chair. Admiral, request permission to move the Thunderchild into defensive position. Even if we're not fully tested, we can't wait any longer. Granted. But Diana. Chen's expression was grave. We're detecting quantum wake signatures from at least 30 more Hillarch vessels approaching from other vectors. They were waiting to see our response. The tactical officer, Lieutenant James Kumar, updated the strategic display. Red dots appeared throughout the solar system, each representing a Hillarch warship moving into attack position. They're establishing the containment grid, he reported. Standard extinction protocol according to the Proxima data. Patil stood, addressing her crew. This is what the Thunderchild was built for. Humanity won't go quietly into the night. Lieutenant Santos, begin quantum fold preparations. Lieutenant Kumar, load targeting solutions for every Hillarch vessel in range. We're about to show them exactly how aberrant human technology can be. The next 12 hours passed in a blur of preparations and rising tension. The Thunderchild systems came online one by one, each success accompanied by Dr. Rivera's increasingly caffeine-fueled status reports from engineering. The quantum core hummed through the ship like a living thing, its multidimensional energies making the air itself feel charged with potential. Multiple vessels entering weapons range, Kumar announced as the first wave of Hillarch ships appeared on visual sensors. Their biomechanical hulls writhed with cancerous growths of weapon emplacements, each easily twice the size of Earth's largest traditional warships. Show me, Patil ordered. The main screen filled with the approaching Hillarch fleet. Their ships moved with unnatural precision, their formation designed to channel energy weapons through overlapping fields of fire. It was a tried and tested formation that had probably ended dozens of civilizations. But they had never faced anything like the Thunderchild. Quantum core at optimal capacity, Santos reported. Fold generators spooled and ready. Patil took a deep breath. Initiate first combat fold. Let's introduce ourselves properly. Reality twisted as the Thunderchild activated its quantum fold drive. Suddenly, the massive warship existed in 27 different positions simultaneously, surrounding the Hillarch fleet in a three-dimensional grid of firepower. The alien vessels reacted instantly, their weapons charging with devastating power. They were too late. All positions, fire, Patil commanded. The Thunderchild's phase-shifted plasma cannons opened fire from every quantum position simultaneously. The laws of physics themselves seemed to bend as 27 versions of the same ship poured impossible energies into the Hillarch formation. Their supposedly impenetrable shields shattered under the assault, unable to cope with weapons that existed in multiple space-time coordinates at once. 3 Hillarch vessels simply ceased to exist, their atomic bonds torn apart by the quantum-shifted plasma. 2 more spun out of control, their biomechanical systems overloaded by the unprecedented attack. The final ship of the first wave managed to fire a retaliatory shot, but it passed harmlessly through one of the Thunderchild's quantum echoes. First wave neutralized, Kumar reported, his voice tight with controlled excitement. Remaining Hill Arch vessels are adjusting their approach vectors. They're pulling back. A new transmission cut through the command channel. The multi-layered Hill Arch voice now carried an edge of fear. This weapon, this technology, it violates the natural order. You will be quarantined. The Dominion will not permit such an abomination to exist. Patil stood at her command station, her voice carrying to every corner of the bridge. This abomination just saved humanity from extinction. If the Dominion wants to talk about natural order, we're happy to continue this demonstration. Your choice. The Hill Arch ships continued their retreat, their formations broken. Humanity had done the impossible. They had not only survived first contact with the Dominion, but had forced them to reconsider their extinction protocols. But as Captain Patil watched the tactical display, she knew this was just the beginning. The Thunderchild had changed everything, and the galaxy would never be the same. 3 months after the Hill Arch incident, Captain Patil stood before the Galactic Council on Nueva Geneva Station. The circular chamber was filled with representatives from over 200 spacefaring civilizations, most of whom had never known humans existed until the Thunderchild's quantum fold technology reshaped their understanding of what was possible. The Arbiter, a crystalline entity that served as the Council's moderator, floated at the chamber's center. Its faceted surface reflected the worried faces of the assembled delegates. The Council has reviewed the evidence of the human quantum fold technology. The implications are disturbing. Disturbing. Ambassador Chen, formerly Admiral, stepped forward beside Patil. The Hill Arch Dominion had destroyed 12 civilizations before encountering humanity. Their extinction protocols were perfect until the Thunderchild stopped them. A susurration of murmurs filled the chamber. The Hill Arch representative, a towering biomechanical construct, raised its primary appendage. We have acknowledged our errors and submitted to Council oversight, but the human weapon represents a greater threat than our previous actions. It undermines the very fabric of space-time. The quantum fold drive is a defensive technology, Patil argued, keeping her voice level despite her frustration. One that saved my species from extinction. The Arbiter's crystalline surface rippled. The Council recognizes humanity's right to self-defense. However, the ability to exist in multiple space-time coordinates simultaneously violates the Cosmic Preservation Accords. No single species can be trusted with such power. Before Chen could respond, emergency signals blared throughout the station. The main display activated, showing a massive spatial distortion forming at the edge of the system. The image was frighteningly familiar to Patil. It looked exactly like the quantum wake signatures they detected before the Hill Arch attack, but orders of magnitude larger. Multiple contacts emerging. The station's AI announced. Energy signatures match no known configuration. They're everywhere. The display filled with hundreds of ships appearing simultaneously across the system. Their design was organic yet geometric, following patterns that hurt the human eye to observe. As the Council chamber erupted in chaos, a transmission cut through all frequencies. We are the Precursor Defense Network, a voice announced, its tone carrying the weight of eons. We detect quantum fold technology in use. This violation cannot be permitted. All species in this sector will be evaluated for contamination. The Arbiter's crystalline form pulsed with urgent light. The Precursors. They were supposed to be extinct. Their automated defense systems went dormant millions of years ago. The quantum fold drive must have activated some kind of failsafe. Chen whispered to Patil. They're here because of us. The Precursor ships moved with impossible precision, their weapons already charging. The station's defensive screens flared as the first salvos hit, barely holding against technology that made even the Thunderchild's weapons seem primitive. You have awakened us. The Precursor voice continued. Protocol demands the elimination of all quantum fold capability. Resistance will result in total sterilization of this spatial sector. Patil watched as the council delegates panicked, their previous unity shattered by existential fear. The Hilarch representative actually seemed to be decomposing, its biomechanical form unable to cope with the stress. "Ambassador," she said quietly to Chen, "the Thunderchild is still in orbit. We could." "The council has banned its use," Chen replied, though Patil could see the calculation in her eyes. Using it now would confirm every fear they have about humanity. Another blast rocked the station. The defensive screens were failing. On the display, precursor ships methodically began targeting populated worlds throughout the system. Their weapons reached through conventional defenses as if they didn't exist. "They're going to kill everyone," Patil said. "Not just humans, every species represented here." Because of a technology they decided was too dangerous millions of years ago. Chen was already activating her quantum-encrypted communicator. "Luna Command, this is Ambassador Chen. Emergency authorization Sierra Omega 7. Activate the Thunderchild. Full defensive protocols." The Arbiter spun toward them, its crystalline surface fracturing with alarm. "You cannot. The Council has spoken. The Council will be dead in an hour if we don't act." Chen shot back. "Captain Patil, the Thunderchild is yours. Show these precursor machines why humanity never should have been underestimated." As Patil rushed to the emergency transport pad, she heard the Arbiter announcing her actions to the Council. But underneath the official protest, she detected something else in the alien voices: hope. Because for all their fear of the Thunderchild's power, right now it represented their only chance of survival. The galaxy had feared humanity's quantum-fold technology. Now they would see why that fear was justified, and why sometimes the most dangerous weapons were exactly what the universe needed. Captain Patil materialized on the Thunderchild's bridge to find organized chaos. The crew had maintained the ship in standby mode despite the Council's ban, a decision that now seemed prophetic. Lieutenant Santos was already at the engineering station, bringing the quantum core online with practiced efficiency. "Status report," Patil commanded, sliding into her chair as tactical displays materialized around her. "Quantum core at 60% and rising," Santos reported. "Dr. Rivera is pushing the containment fields to maximum." Lieutenant Kumar's hands flew across his tactical station. Precursor vessels have established a geometric grid formation around the system. They're methodically targeting all major population centers. Conventional defenses are having no effect. The main screen showed the devastating efficiency of the precursor attack. Their ships moved with perfect coordination, their weapons cutting through planetary shields like paper. The death toll was already in the millions. "Multiple quantum signatures detected," the ship's AI announced. "The precursors are using some form of quantum technology themselves." Patil leaned forward. "Analyze their quantum patterns. How do they compare to our fold drive?" "Their technology appears to be based on quantum entanglement rather than dimensional folding. They're linked across vast distances, but don't exist in multiple locations simultaneously." A plan began forming in Patil's mind. That's their weakness. They built their defense network to prevent quantum fold technology because they couldn't master it themselves. She turned to Santos. "How long until we can execute a complete fold?" 3 minutes to full power." "But Captain," Santos hesitated. "The quantum core is showing unusual readings. The precursor weapons seem to be affecting local space-time stability." Dr. Rivera's voice cut in from engineering. "The dimensional stress could tear the ship apart if we attempt a full 27-point fold. We might manage 15 points safely." 15 will have to do, Patil decided. "Plot an engagement pattern that surrounds their primary command node. Lieutenant Kumar, prepare the phase-shifted plasma cannons for simultaneous fire from all fold points." The bridge crew worked with desperate intensity as the Thunderchild powered up. Through the tactical displays, Patil watched the precursor ships continuing their implacable advance. A colony on Europa disappeared in a flash of quantum fire. Mars' orbital habitats began falling one by one. Quantum core at maximum safe power, Santos announced. Fold matrix calculated and locked. Patel took a deep breath. All hands, prepare for quantum fold. Execute on my mark. The precursor vessels detected their power surge. A dozen ships broke formation, moving to intercept the Thunderchild with weapons charge. Their transmission cut through all frequencies again. Quantum fold signature detected. Sterilization protocols initiated. Not this time, Patel whispered. Execute fold. Reality twisted as the Thunderchild split into 15 versions of itself, each one perfectly real, each one surrounding the precursor command node. The enemy ships reacted instantly, their quantum-entangled networks allowing them to respond with impossible speed. But speed wasn't enough. All points, fire, Patel ordered. The Thunderchild's phase-shifted plasma cannons erupted from 15 different positions in spacetime. The precursor ships' advanced shields buckled under the assault, their quantum-entangled networks actually working against them as the damage cascaded through their linked systems. Direct hits on multiple targets, Kumar reported. Their shields are failing. Wait. His expression changed to one of confusion. Captain, they're changing configuration. The entire network is adapting. The precursor ships began to move in new patterns, their forms shifting like liquid metal. The quantum signatures from their weapons changed frequency, becoming even more powerful. They're learning. Dr. Rivera's voice was tight with stress. Their network is evolving to counter our attack pattern. We need to change tactics before. The ship shuddered as a precursor beam sliced through one of their quantum echoes, destroying it completely. Warning signals blared across every station. Fold matrix destabilizing. Santos called out. We can't maintain this many points with their new weapons. Patel watched as two more quantum echoes vanished, the Thunderchild's revolutionary technology being systematically countered by machines that had spent millions of years waiting for exactly this moment. But as she studied their attack pattern, she noticed something crucial. They're not trying to destroy us, she realized. They're trying to force us back into a single quantum state. That's their primary directive. Enforce their rules of physics. How does that help us? Kumar asked as another echo disappeared. A dangerous smile crossed Patel's face. Because we're going to give them exactly what they want. But on our terms. She opened a channel to engineering. Dr. Rivera, what happens if we collapse all remaining quantum echoes into a single point inside their command node? There was a moment of stunned silence before Rivera responded. The energy release would be catastrophic. The quantum feedback alone could tear a hole in spacetime. Could it disrupt their entire network? Theoretically, yes. But Captain, we'd have to time it perfectly. A millisecond too early or too late. Then we'll just have to be perfect, Patel said. Prepare for quantum collapse on my mark. Let's show these machines why humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our willingness to risk everything to protect what matters. Time seemed to slow on the Thunderchild's bridge as Captain Patel watched the remaining quantum echoes move into position. The precursor command node loomed before them, its crystalline structure pulsing with ancient power. Around it, the automated defense network continued its relentless assault on both the ship and the populated worlds of the system. Quantum collapse calculated, Santos reported, her voice steady despite the strain showing on her face. All remaining echoes are synchronized. Dr. Rivera's voice crackled through the comm. Captain, I've modified the collapse sequence to channel the quantum feedback directly into their command network. But there's something else you need to know. He paused, and Patel could hear the weight of responsibility in his words. This could create a cascade effect through their entire defense system. We might be about to destroy technology that's survived millions of years. They made their choice, Patel replied, watching another orbital habitat disappear under precursor fire. Sometimes preservation means knowing when to let go of the past. The tactical display updated as the precursor ships adjusted their formation yet again, their adaptive programming still trying to force the Thunderchild back into conventional spacetime. They didn't realize they were playing directly into humanity's hands. Multiple quantum signatures approaching, Kumar warned. They're surrounding our remaining echoes. Perfect, Patel smiled grimly. That puts more of them within the collapse radius. All stations, prepare for quantum collapse. Dr. Rivera, start the sequence. The quantum core's hum changed pitch, rising to a frequency that made the air itself vibrate. Warning indicators flashed across every console as the ship's systems were pushed far beyond their designed limits. Collapse sequence initiated, Santos announced. Point of no return in 10 seconds. The precursor network finally seemed to realize the threat. Their ships began to pull back, but their quantum-entangled systems actually worked against them, making it impossible to fully disengage without disrupting their entire network. 5 seconds. Patel opened a channel to the Nueva Geneva station. Ambassador Chen, I recommend all ships in the system engage emergency shields. This is going to be interesting. 3 seconds. The precursor command node fired one last desperate salvo, its weapons reaching across quantum-entangled space to strike at the Thunderchild's remaining echoes. 1 second. All hands, brace for impact, Patel ordered. Execute collapse now. Reality itself seemed to scream as the Thunderchild's quantum echoes landed together inside the precursor command node. The laws of physics buckled as the combined quantum energy of 15 spacetime instances tried to occupy the same point in space. For a fraction of a second, the ship existed everywhere and nowhere, its quantum signature reverberating through the ancient alien network like a virus. The command node's crystalline structure shattered, its perfect geometric patterns dissolving into chaos. The quantum feedback cascaded through the entangled network, jumping from ship to ship faster than light itself. Precursor vessels began to disappear, not destroyed but simply disconnected from reality, their quantum-entangled systems unable to maintain coherence. Quantum collapse complete, Santos reported, her voice barely audible over the groaning of the Thunderchild's stressed hull. We're back in normal space. Status of the precursor network, Patel demanded. Kumar worked his tactical station, trying to make sense of the sensor readings. They're gone, Captain. The quantum feedback severed their entanglement completely. The remaining ships are just empty shells. Silence fell over the bridge as the crew processed what they'd just accomplished. Humanity's most controversial weapon had just defeated a threat that had haunted the galaxy for millions of years. The main screen activated, showing the Galactic Council chamber. The Arbiter's crystalline form had shifted to a deep blue, a sign of deep contemplation among its kind. The Council has witnessed your actions, it announced. You used a weapon we feared to save lives we had given up for lost. Perhaps we were too quick to judge. Ambassador Chen stepped forward. The Thunderchild was never meant to be just a weapon. It represents humanity's determination to survive, to protect not just ourselves, but anyone who faces extinction. Yes, it's dangerous. Yes, it breaks what you thought were the fundamental laws of physics. But today proved that sometimes the most dangerous tools are the ones we most desperately need. The Arbiter's surface rippled in agreement. The ban on quantum fold technology will be lifted, under certain conditions. Humanity will be tasked with its development and regulation, in partnership with the Council. Your species has proven both its capability and its wisdom. Patel looked around at her exhausted but proud crew. The Thunderchild had been built to defend humanity, but it had ended up doing so much more. It had changed the galaxy's understanding of what was possible, and more importantly, it had shown that the most powerful weapons could be used to preserve life rather than end it. Lieutenant Santos, she said, settling back into her command chair, take us home. I believe we have a lot of work ahead of us. As the Thunderchild moved through the debris-strewn space, its quantum core humming with contained power, Captain Patel reflected on how quickly everything had changed. Humanity had built a weapon so powerful the galaxy had feared it, only to prove that the true measure of power wasn't in its capacity for destruction, but in how it was used. The stars seemed brighter somehow, as if the universe itself was acknowledging that something fundamental had shifted. Humanity had taken its place among the stars not through conquest or submission, but by proving that sometimes the most dangerous weapons were exactly what the galaxy needed to preserve peace. And the Thunderchild, once feared and outlawed, would lead the way into this new era, a symbol of humanity's greatest strengths: innovation, courage, and the wisdom to know when to use its power and when to hold back.